You spend hours researching which stock to buy. You spend weeks negotiating the price of a car. You spend months agonizing over which house will give you the best appreciation. But then, you walk into a bar, meet someone who laughs at your jokes and looks good in low light, and you decide to sign a contract that puts 50% of your current and future net worth at risk without asking a single question about their credit score. My name is Mike, and today we are going to have the conversation that your parents didn't have with you, that your friends are too polite to bring up, and that society actively tries to suppress. We are talking about the relationship ROI. And subscribe for more financial reality checks that no one else has the guts to give you. We're taught that love conquers all. We're taught that money doesn't matter if the chemistry is right. I am here to tell you that is a lie that keeps bankruptcy lawyers in business and keeps you working 5 years longer than you need to. The person you choose to partner with is not just a romantic decision. They are the most important financial asset or the most destructive financial liability you will ever acquire. If you are single, this video might save you $1 million. If you are in a relationship, this video might start a fight, but it's a fight you need to have. If you're tired of financial advice that ignores the massive elephant in the room, smash that subscribe button. Let's break down the broke partner tax. The financial bleeding doesn't start at the divorce. It starts on the first date. We have created a culture where the early stages of a relationship are essentially a competition to see who can hide their financial reality the best. I call this the impression tax. It's the nice dinners you can't afford. It's the new clothes you buy to look successful. It's the gifts, the weekends away, the experiences designed to signal that you are a provider or a catch. Let's look at the math of a typical dating year for someone trying to impress a partner with expensive taste. Weekly dates, dinners, drinks, movies, $150 per week. That's $7,800 a year. Gifts, birthday, Valentine's, Christmas, anniversary, $1,500. Travel, the first trip together to Cabo or Tulum, $3,000. Total, $12,300. That is $12,300 of post-tax income. If you earn $60,000 a year, you are spending nearly 25% of your take-home pay just to maintain the appearance of being a viable partner. If you invested that $12,300 into an S&P 500 index fund instead of spending it on overpriced pasta and margaritas, in 20 years, that single year of dating would be worth $56,000. But the cost isn't just monetary, it's the precedent you are setting. When you lead with your wallet, you attract people who value your wallet. You are filtering for partners who expect a lifestyle you cannot sustain. You are building a relationship on a foundation of financial fraud. You are telling them, this is who I am, when in reality, this is who I am pretending to be until I run out of credit. Okay, things get serious. You move in together. This is where the synchronization problem destroys wealth. In physics, if you have two waves moving in opposite directions, they cancel each other out. In finance, if you have one saver and one spender, you don't get a balance. You get a disaster. Let's say you are the disciplined one. You save 20% of your income. You drive a paid-off Honda. You cook at home. You want to retire at 50. Your partner? They believe you can't take it with you. They lease a BMW because image matters for their career. They view a credit limit as a target, not a ceiling. They have $12,000 in credit card debt that they call normal. Here is the brutal truth. The spender always wins. Why? Because spending is active and saving is passive. It takes zero effort to spend money. It takes immense willpower to save it. When you merge finances with a spender, your savings rate will drop to match their spending rate. You won't pull them up, they will drag you down. It is simply gravity. This creates financial drag. It's like trying to run a marathon while dragging a sled of bricks. Every time you get a bonus, they see a vacation. Every time you pay off a debt, they see available credit for a new couch. You are constantly taking one step forward and two steps back. The emotional toll of this dynamic is what I call the nagging tax. You become the parent. You become the bad guy who says no. No, we can't afford that. No, we shouldn't go out. This breeds resentment. They think you're cheap. You think they're reckless. This friction drains your mental energy. Energy you should be using to grow your career or build a business is now being wasted arguing about why we don't need a $7 coffee every morning. Then comes the proposal, and with it, the single worst financial decision most young couples make: the wedding. The average wedding in America now costs over $30,000. In major cities, it's closer to $50,000 or $60,000. Let's be crystal clear about what a wedding is. It is a party. It is a 4-hour party thrown for people you mostly don't like, to impress family members you rarely see, to celebrate a contract you haven't even tested yet. I see couples who are $40,000 in student debt, renting a mediocre apartment, taking out a personal loan at 12% interest to pay for a wedding venue. This is insanity. This is financial suicide disguised as tradition. If you start your marriage by digging a $30,000 hole, you are guaranteeing that the first 5 years of your marriage will be defined by stress. Statistically, there is a correlation between the cost of the wedding and the likelihood of divorce. Couples who spend less on their weddings tend to stay together longer. Why? Because they aren't starting their life together under the crushing weight of financial regret. If your partner demands a fairy tale wedding that you cannot afford, that is not a romantic gesture. That is a red flag the size of a billboard. It shows they value the performance of marriage more than the reality of marriage. They prioritize the Instagram photos over the bank account. Here is a hidden tax that nobody calculates: the ambition cap. When you are single and broke, you can take risks. You can quit your job to start a business. You can move to a new city for an opportunity. You can live on ramen for a year to build a prototype. But when you are with a partner who values stability over growth, or a partner who is financially dependent on you, your risk tolerance hits zero. You stay in the job you hate because you need the steady paycheck to cover their car payment. You don't start the business because they are worried about health insurance. You turn down the relocation because they don't want to leave their friends. A financially illiterate partner forces you to be conservative. They become an anchor. I know brilliance, talented people who are stuck in middle management hell simply because their household burn rate is too high to allow for any career pivots. Their partner's spending habits have removed their professional freedom. Now, let's look at the worst-case scenario. The relationship ends. Divorce is the financial equivalent of a nuclear bomb going off in your living room. First, there are the legal fees. A contested divorce can easily run $15,000 to $30,000 per person. That's cash, gone forever. Then, there is the asset split. In many states, everything you built during the marriage is split 50-50. Did you work 80-hour weeks to build a business while your partner found themselves? Doesn't matter. They own half your business now. Did you max out your 401k while they spent their income on clothes? Doesn't matter. They get half your 401k. You lose the economies of scale. When you are married, you have one rent, one internet bill, one electric bill. When you divorce, you now have 2 rents, 2 utility bills, 2 sets of furniture to buy. Your expenses double overnight, but your income stays the same or goes down. And let's talk about alimony. If you were the high earner and you supported a partner who didn't work, you might be cutting them a check for years, sometimes decades, after the relationship ends. You are literally paying for the privilege of not being with them anymore. I have seen high net worth individuals go from millionaires to living in studio apartments in the span of 12 months because of a bad divorce. It takes an average of 5 to 7 years to recover financially from a divorce. That is a lost decade of wealth building. So, Mike, are you saying we should all die alone on a pile of money? Number 1, I'm saying you need to change how you date. You need to date like an investor, not a gambler. 1. The early vetting process. You don't need to ask for a credit report on the first date, but you need to observe. How do they treat service staff? Shows empathy and class. Do they talk about buying things or buying time? When they get stressed, do they shop? Emotional spending is a huge red flag. Do they have friends who are ambitious or friends who are deadbeats? You are the average of the 5 people you spend time with, and so are they. 2. The money talk. Date 3 or 4. Stop waiting until you're engaged to talk about debt. By date 3 or 4, you should know, do they have student loans? How much? Do they carry a balance on their credit cards? What is their credit score? If they don't know it, that's a bad sign. If they're afraid to tell you, that's a worse sign. If you are scared to ask these questions because it's unromantic, you are not mature enough to be in a relationship. Real intimacy is honesty, and financial honesty is the bedrock of a partnership. 3. Financial infidelity is cheating. If they hide purchases, if they have secret credit cards, if they lie about the price of things. Oh, this old thing? I got it on sale. Run. Financial infidelity is a precursor to other types of dishonesty. If they cannot be trusted with $100, they cannot be trusted with your life. I want to end on a positive note because the right partner is actually the greatest wealth hack in existence. If you find someone who shares your values, your discipline, and your goals, the math flips in your favor. The dual income, no kids, DINK phase. Imagine 2 people earning $60,000 each. That's a household income of $120,000. But you live on one person's salary, $60,000. You invest the entire second salary. $60,000 invested annually at 8% for 10 years is $900,000. You could be millionaires in just over a decade simply by partnering correctly. The risk mitigation. When you have a supportive partner, you can take risks. One person can keep the steady job with health insurance while the other launches the startup. Then, once the startup works, you switch. You can tag team your way up the economic ladder. The emotional compound interest. A partner who understands your goals doesn't nag you for working late. They bring you coffee. They don't complain about the budget. They help you optimize it. They are your board of directors, your cheerleader, and your safety net. When you are aligned, you don't just add your net worths together, you multiply them. Listen to me closely. Romance is fleeting. The dopamine hit of a new relationship lasts about 18 months. After that, you are left with a partnership. You are running a small non-profit organization called Your Household. Do you want a partner who helps keep the lights on and the endowment growing? Or do you want a partner who is embezzling funds and setting fire to the building? Stop letting your hormones dictate your financial future. Stop trying to save people. You are not a rehabilitation center for financially broken adults. Stop ignoring the red flags because they are hot. Hot does not pay the mortgage. Your net worth is a reflection of your choices, and the person sleeping next to you is the biggest choice you will ever make. Choose wisely or pay the tax.